Hello everyone, Cheshire the Cat on the scene, currently investigating the 5th floor of the school. God, I really am like having to... Wait, was there a bear in that classroom? I forgot to check for that. Last couple of times it was like up in the rafters. Maybe hiding under a desk? Not on a chalkboard or behind a monitor. Oh god, my eyes. Oh, the doors are steadily opening up, one at a time. So now which one can I enter? Maybe the biology room? Raw? Yeah, I couldn't open this before, but now I can. Also, I see you there, bear. What the hell's with this room? It's freaking cold in here! It's like I'm in a freezer or something. If I just sit still, I'm headed to freezing to death. I need to hurry up and investigate so I can get out already.
I've been found.
That's 3 of you. Obviously, this is what we need to see, right? There's another manga just laying here. This time the title is Manga for Morons. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history? I knew it. The next one would obviously be about this incident. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, huh? Just what was that incident all about? It might turn out to be something lame. Flip through the pages of the manga and hope that I was right. I like how Monokuma's ripping off all these older artists. A story about creepily drawn characters who get involved in horrifying incidences. Yeah, it looks like Junjo Ito. Clever. An incident known as the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. It's drawn so grotesquely because the incident itself is that grotesque? Anyway, the beginning of this creepy manga starts with this sentence. The tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy was simply the trigger. At first, the uprising by the Reserve Corps students that triggered the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy was initially hoped to be resolved quickly, but the situation continued to escalate to dangerous extremes. Junjo Ito. Yeah, Junji Ito, thank you. The movement started spreading all over the internet and fostered a thriving online community. Don't you read me? The community was not limited to students, and people of various races and nations began joining in. It's funny when Cheshire messes up. But the movement was not confined to the internet, and began spreading and eroding the real world. When the movement started, it was indistinguishable from any other demonstration inspired by social unrest. But as it spread across the world, certain abnormalities soon came to light. By then it was too late. The ends and the means had vanished, and the wanton destruction became their only goal. The strong butchered the weak killed the weakest among them, and soon the weak formed factions to brutally murder the strong. As the violence and death continued to spread, the shock of their actions began to disappear. As if the era was regressing to more uncivilized times, when senseless deaths were the norm. The media was oversaturated with deaths to the point where people would watch them while enjoying a meal. By the time the world realized what it had become, it was too late to stop what had happened. A feeling of immense despair began spreading and eventually engulfed the world. Acts of terrorism and coups d'etats began occurring around the world. A war waged in the name of despair. Just because of the reserve course? A war fought not for principles, religion, or personal gain. Just war. Pure war. And because of that, there was no way to resolve it. How could a movement started by high school students progress to such a hopeless scenario? The only explanation is the existence of a certain organization, devoted to a certain student who influenced Hope's Peak Academy, a group called Ultimate Despair. Instead of using Hope's Peak Academy's talents for the sake of mankind's hope, they used them for the sake of mankind's despair. Key members of society used their influence to brainwash the masses in order to spread despair. Tech-savvy computer programmers wrote software to spread despair. The powerful and influential created new values and morals to spread despair. And with this, they created the tragedy, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. So it was caused by more than one person. As long as ultimate despair exists, the despair engulfing this world will never end. But we killed Junko in the last game. The tragedy will never end. What the? My heart was racing in my chest, but my body felt ice cold. And it wasn't because I was freezing in this room. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. This is definitely all made up. I mean, if this is really true, then what's happening to the outside world? My family, my friends, the convenience store I frequent, the nearby bookstore, and my favorite restaurant. What's happened to them?
No way.
Hey, are you seriously yelling at a manga? How crazy are you?
Who would enjoy reading something like this?
What?
Oh my, you don't like manga? A high school student who doesn't like manga is like an office lady who doesn't eat candy.
Enough! What is this messed up manga?
I thought you'd obviously know from such a horrible event that destroyed the world, but for you not to remember that, such despair. That's the Future Foundation's fault, though, thanks to them stealing your school memories. The incident that happened during the period has been completely removed from your brains.
This incident really happened, and I actually forgot about it? There's no way that's possible.
What are you
How many times do I have to tell you? All the clues here are real. Please understand, I'm rooting for you. If you don't learn to the full extent of the outside world, you guys will suffer for it. I just want to help you guys so you can live well-adjusted lives in the outside world.
I see, so that's how it is. That's what he meant by what he said at the beginning.
Well, as the headmaster, I'm conflicted, you know? On one hand, I'm really happy that you're finally going to graduate. But on the other hand, I'm worried about whether you guys will be okay in the outside world. That's why I'm thinking about telling you what the outside world is like before you make a decision. Whether you want to leave Jabberwock Island or stay here.
He's trying to make us feel despair towards the outside world so that we'll want to stay on this island. But there's no way I'm going to do what he wants. Despair like that simply can't exist. The outside world should be filled with hope. Just like now. Perhaps... No, that's definitely it. Whether or not this incident really happened, what in the world is the Ultimate Despair Group? If they're devoted to a certain student who guided Hope's Peak Academy to its destruction, are they connected to both the tragedy and the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy? Plus, that organization isn't just one person, but a group of people. But if they're known as the Ultimate Despair, they're high school students, right? Well, if they're actually able to do it, then I guess that's why they were called Ultimates. Then are the killings we're involved in connected to them as well? It's no use, I'm gonna freeze to death! I'm at my limit, I need to get out of here! That was close. I nearly froze to death. So, where should I go next? The fact that this is breaking more and more is getting really concerning. Alright, Monokuma, what door did you make available to me now? I've been to the dojo. Oh, now 5B is open. No, I should ignore it. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see him. Why, hello, Hajime! I hope you're doing pleasingly well! Are you pleasingly well? You're pleasingly well, right? What are you doing here?
No, no.
Well, there was another thing I needed to tell you on this floor. I got bored of drawing manga. Can you forgive me for telling you by word of mouth?
Should have done that from the beginning. I didn't want to read your manga in the first place.
A high school student who doesn't like manga is like a sumo wrestler who doesn't like eating Hot Pots.
Yo, Catman, how's your brain doing? You want an accurate representation? Help. Well, like, I feel like I'm following it okay. Like, I feel like I'm following it just fine. But it's filling in the gaps. What I'm liking right now is this is really filling in the gaps from the previous game. What's going on? Want me to come on so you can rant? You know what? Let me wrap up this episode and then I'll bring you on. Or like, how close am I to the ending? You're following what you know. Yeah. Like, that's a real question. How close am I to the end here? Because if I'm getting truth bullets, that means there's gonna be another trial. Soon you'll need it. I know it.
Surprise! It's about the ultimate despair!
Huh?
Ahem. Even though the term ultimate despair refers to a group these days, it was originally the title of a high school girl who was the most powerful, evil, and feared person alive.
A high school girl?
Lady Junko Enoshima.
You're pretty close. It's always 6 cases, yeah. Junko Enoshima?
As the former ultimate despair, she created a despair brimming with charm and humor. And created the ultimate despairs.
Makoto and the others?
There was one really horrible person in that group.
Hold on a sec. I don't know what the ultimate despairs are, but it's not like it's easy for them to form an organization. There's no way people would join some fucked up organization created by a high school girl.
Humans who are obsessed with their philosophy have an uncanny power to attract others. It's a trait shared by many famous leaders throughout history, right? There's nothing strange about it. That holds true for Lady Junko.
No, I can see it. She has the charisma for it.
With her charismatic ability to attract people, she even influenced those of the highest echelons of power. Her connections were the main reason that incident became the tragedy in the first place.
So she even recruited people who would have been in a position to neutralize the threat. Then what was their purpose?
What?
Like I said, why did they cause that incident? It doesn't even make sense. They had a purpose, right? There's no way they'd do what they did without any purpose.
It was Junko Enoshima's despair.
Huh?
For Junko Enoshima, despair isn't about purpose. A set of principles, a way of life, or an instinct. Despair is what defines Junko Enoshima as Junko Enoshima.
What are you saying?
I'm a stuffed plushie. Hajime is a human. It's exactly like that. Junko Enoshima is full of so much despair that she's truly hopeless. Living, dying, eating, loving. For her, everything is despair.
What the hell?
With her overwhelming force of personality, Junko recruited the ultimate despairs one by one. She controlled their despair by taking advantage of their love, hate, grudges, anything really. Junko's despair is far more dreadful than any other. The idea that had been slammed right into their minds. And so, the ultimate despairs who had been recruited become nothing more than Junko's limbs. All despair, whether it was their own or anyone else's, was dedicated to Junko Enoshima. Like believers making offerings to their god. Like a mother providing food to her children. They dedicated all despair so they could escape from despair. All in Junko Enoshima's name. For example, they killed their families and friends and even destroyed their bodies through relentless mutilation. And to hopelessly top it off, they completely believed it was something that they had to do.
What the fuck? There's no way something that crazy is possible.
Do you know about the final days of the reserve course students during the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy?
Final days?
In other words,
Junko has the power to change people's values. This is also true of famous people throughout history.
What do you mean by final days? What happened to the reserve department?
of course.
They fulfilled their role as disposable limbs. They believed in what they needed to do. And so, 2,357 students of the reserve department all committed mass suicide.
Mass suicide?
What'd you say?
All 2,357 students?
Oops, it wasn't all of them. One person was excluded.
Person was excluded, huh? Is that me?
Damn it.
I don't believe it. There's no way I can believe this. Gonna go get dinner, so I might be a while. Let me know later what you think. Oh boy. Ultimate despair? Junko Enoshima? It doesn't scare me at all. I mean, Junko Enoshima is already dead. Huh? The ultimate despair has been added to the truth sections of your handbook. Yeah, that's right. Wait, but how do you know that? Hey, Fuyuhiko, is it true what you said? Junko Enoshima's really dead. What, you didn't see? There was a book called Manga for Morons, Killing School Life, in that bloody classroom. Bloody classroom? No, wait, what was that you said about the Killing School Life? The killings were involved in, they were killings that happened at Hope's Peak Academy. As I recall, the mastermind took her own life because the remaining students worked together to defeat her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's how it was. The Killing School Life ended up failing in the end. As a result, the 6 students who survived managed to escape from the academy.
Hey,
For a manga about the Killing School Life, it was drawn with a lot of silly images and dumb gags. According to that, the mastermind had been behind the failed Killing School Life was Junko Enoshima. The mastermind took her own life, which means Junko Enoshima is dead.
like,
It turns out that the Killing School Life was part of that whole biggest, most awful whatever incident. Junko took away the memories of former students of Hope's Peak Academy and forced them to kill each other. Former students of Hope's Peak Academy, and she took away their memories just like us. Apparently, the whole thing was being filmed by surveillance cameras and broadcast worldwide. There's a limit to being a cruel asshole. The surveillance cameras were broadcasting the whole thing? The students of Hope's Peak Academy were widely known as the Symbols of Hope. By forcing people to watch these Symbols of Hope kill each other for the sake of survival, they were trying to fill everyone who watched the broadcast with despair all at once. That's messed up! But that messed up plan was stopped. Junko Enoshima failed. Junko lost to the students she placed in her trap, and after being overcome by the despair she created, she took her own life. Then Junko is no more. If that's the case, then why is this happening? No matter how horrible she was, there's no reason to fear someone who's dead. Whether Monokuma's story is true or not doesn't matter. Junko Enoshima isn't alive anymore. Then, who is our enemy? If Junko Enoshima's already dead, are the rest of the Ultimate Despairs behind this? Are the followers of Junko carrying out her will? That's the only thing that I can think of. I mean, the killings we're involved in resemble that Killing School Life. Well, I don't know who the hell is imitating Junko and making us go through this, but an imitation is just that, an imitation.
no shit.
If the students from Homespeak Academy stop the real deal, there's no way we'll lose to some fake. But if this is really an imitation, are those surveillance cameras doing the same too? Cameras all over Jabberwock Island? Are they broadcasting somewhere, just like the surveillance cameras during the Killing School life? Yeah. What?
Man, Hajime, you totally know about that story, huh?
What? Do you have a problem with that?
Well, I really wanted you to read the manga version since I took the time to draw it.
What are you gonna do?
Oh well, I'll just raise the flag.
Flag? What do you mean raise the flag? What's gonna happen if you do that?
One step at a time. You're getting closer to clearing my character route.
You're not making sense again.
Well then.
Now then, I'll give you guys my all. I'll tell you everything I know, including information on the outside and the inside. I'll raise them flags like crazy!
Why, though? I guess the real question is just... Sorry, I'm looking for the Monokuma doll. Why? No, I don't really need you to... Oh, yeah, okay, so this is just the same thing.
Phew.
It's fine already, don't have to keep explaining.
It's getting to the good part.
Good part or not, I've already heard this from you before. What? Huh? It changed to a different hallway again. It's so sudden. What's going to make something like this happen? No, I've already decided that I'm not going to be surprised. That's right, there's no time for me to be surprised by something like this. Akai's twitching her nose like a beast and examining her surroundings. Hey, what happened?
Based on my gut.
Well, you know, it's just my gut, but I feel like someone's getting closer. What do you mean, who?
So,
I don't know. It's just my gut after all.
Just my gut.
But still, her gut's pretty impressive. For some reason, it's strangely intuitive. And Monokuma did say something about the main cast coming. It's surprising, but her gut must be correct again this time. Sorry, beg pardon. Keep having to clear my throat, all grody-like. So, just the headmaster's room, huh? Like, ugh. Oh my god, this is gonna... Guess we just go into the music room. Oh my goodness, my throat. This looks like the music room. I feel like I can see something strange. Clearly this hologram. What is this? Words are just floating in the air? This is like a hologram, right? It's formed sense. It looks like a passage from an email. Regarding the report we gave you the other day, we have obtained information. A person who claims to be a survivor of Hope's Peak Academy. Upon further investigation, there are a total of 15 survivors. Okay, I'm back. How are you? That sounds about right. You may be wondering about the number of people at this time. If they're survivors of Hope's Peak Academy, it's possible they may be targeted by the ultimate despair. Yeah, this email was in the last game. We believe you should acquire them and place them in our care as soon as possible. Though I don't believe the group can go that far without Junko and Oshima rallying them. In a worst-case scenario, we must prevent a repeat of the Killing School life. 15 students. Also, if they are survivors of Hope's Peak Academy, we should expect them to be quite valuable to us. Need help? Nah, I'm loving this. However, we still need to investigate the details of their origins, and we haven't located them either. We'll continue investigating this matter. Also, regarding a separate matter, we received a report from the research facility on Jabberwock Island. preparations have been completed. Since you can proceed with the experimental phase of the Neo World program. 15 students? Is that about us? Including Chiaki, who was part of the Future Foundation. There were definitely 15 of us, but what does survivors mean? It's like they're talking about some other world. Just what happened on Jabberwock Island? And the world isn't normal anymore. Maybe. I'm starting to feel like we might be better off not remembering the memories we've lost. Boy. It looks like some sort of monument. Why would there be a monument in the music room? And not just that, the mark is engraved with the monument. Ugh. Not just that, the mark engraved into the monument is the symbol for the Future Foundation, right? Below that symbol, there's a short passage engraved. To combat the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, the graduates of Hope Peak Academy were among the many who established the Future Foundation. Oh. The Future Foundation was established by the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy. Aren't they known as World Ender? This is completely different. Monokuma, he completely made it up! I guess that's all the clues in this room. It's finally confirmed. The Future Foundation is on our side. At least. They were founded by the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy, and they took us in to protect us. But if that's true, Chiaki should have made that clear to us. No. As long as Monokuma was around, she probably couldn't say anything carelessly. Monokuma. If he's the Future Foundation's enemy, then his true identity must be the ultimate despairs, who caused the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The ones who are carrying out the will of Junko Enoshima are making us go through this. Also, this caught my attention in the email, too. What is this research facility on Jabberwock Island? Mentioned in the email. What's that about? The only Future Foundation facility we found was that ancient ruin. There's no way that's the research facility. If there's really a research facility on the island, there should be other Future Foundation members there. Somehow, there's still so many mysteries. I will have to continue solving them in the next episode. Until then, YouTubers, this is Cheshire the Cat signing off. Till then, take care, ta-ta for now.